Now we're live.
Okay, let me see how I record. Okay, they're going to be coming.
They're going to be coming.
Okay, let me read Jen's directions again. I got to go back.
We need her, like, never mind.
I'm going to have to close this door.
Dada, go out there with Daddy for now. Go ahead. I'll be out in a couple of minutes. Love you. You don't love me?
Where is start recording? I am so... I don't know where... Amber. Where's start recording?
Well, it should be recording if you are broadcasting.
Oh, we're live? Like it's
yes, girl, we're live. We've been live for like the past 3 minutes.
but Jen said once you hit the start recording button. Whatever.
I think you meant the start broadcast.
Cool. Okay. We're gonna start in 1 minute.
We need some people to join us. Where are they at?
I can't believe this is our last week.
I know, it makes me so sad. It went by so quick.
It was kind of nice.
It really
to like,
did.
meet up once a week and talk, you know?
I know. We need to do this anyways.
We need to do it.
For real.
It was a fun time.
I got me a Chloe date in the morning. I'm super excited.
Oh,
what time
yay.
is that?
Oh, Lord.
You guys are so cute. I miss you guys.
I get home from dropping off at preschool at like 9:15 my time.
Okay, we gotta talk after this. I'll text you. I had something come up.
That's fine. I had something come up.
Mike, it's crazy. I'll tell you about it after this.
Okay.
It's crazy.
I have to use Kristen's assistance. Okay.
Do what?
Yeah, I'll tell you about it after this.
Okay.
All right. So, do we wait a few minutes or should we go ahead and roll with it? Is anybody on here?
How
do we know if anybody's here? I don't see anybody.
I feel like y'all should have to look at this with me for a minute because I'm like obsessed.
Oh my God.
Oh.
It's so beautiful.
I literally just do this all day.
So pretty. Like a genie lamp.
I don't even get anything
I
done.
need that.
You do. Everybody needs it. For real.
It's amazing.
That is stunning. I need to get me one of those and quit
I'm
playing.
telling you what, I bought all 3 of the new shades and I like have them all out in my house. I love them.
Oh, it says there's 6 viewers, so that means 6 people are on. Yay!
Hi, friends.
Hi, friends. Okay. Hi. So, should we go ahead and get started?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start so y'all can mute yourselves, and then I will pass it over to you first, Maggie. Okay? All right. Okay. Welcome, guys. So this is our last week. Actually, last week was our last week. So this is our Q&A. We almost have everybody. Kelly Ski should be coming in on the fly shortly. And Jen is sick. And so she will be posting her question live later this week on the Waxlinger page. So stay tuned for that. But we are so proud of you guys. It was a really busy month. I feel like September literally like flew by. I'm so confused. But you guys rocked it. And so even though the system decided to crash and it got a little crazy, we had so many promotions, so many like, you know, just mini celebrations that each one of you had. And so know whether it was big or small, or whether you promoted to director or you promoted to star consultant, or you just stayed consistent with your bookings and got your office organized, like those are all huge deals. So this week is really super casual. We're going to answer a few questions that y'all had. And then I guess what we'll do is after I go, or if one of y'all leaders wants to do it while I'm talking, we can have like a chat, I guess, or it can be on the same, or y'all can ask additional questions. So that way, you know, if there's anything that you're thinking of while we talk, you can go ahead and queue in and you can ask your question, or you can ask it if you're tuned in, you can ask on the chat box. So we had a few really good questions that were on the Waxlinger page, and I'm going to go to mine, even though I don't remember it. I should remember it. mine that I'm going to answer is from Chastity. And she asked about a group and a team. And so what she really talked about, or what she really meant to ask, all right, let me get out of that, is how do you feed into a group and a team? So Chastity is a director in my group, and she just promoted another director under her. So it can get really confusing once you do that, because it's like, well, what's a team and what's a group? And so I really try and make sure my leaders understand right when they become a director, look, this is the deal, this is what happens. And so she knew that whenever this girl promoted, and she promoted within this program, which is awesome, but she knew that she was going to have a group now, and she knew that she needed a strong team. So the whole time that she was helping her team member get to director, she was also growing her individual team. So she would have a super strong team whenever they kind of branched out. So this is kind of what I do when it comes to my group and my team. So I have 14 directors in my group. And so it exploded. I don't know what happened, but I remember when I first became a director last year, and I had 4 directors, and I was just so excited, and I wanted it so bad for them. And what I realized was that I was so laser focused on them that I kind of smothered them, and I didn't let them lead the way that they wanted to lead. And it caused a lot of issues. Like, I wanted to do we should do this. We need to be on the same page, and we need to do all these meetings together. And it was just very, very bad. And my leaders can tell you, my 4 directors that started at the beginning, we really had to kind of sit back and figure out what is going on, because every one of your leaders are going to lead differently. So those of you who have people on your teams that are, maybe lead or superstar or star consultants, that are under you, when they become a director, it's so important for us to feed into them, to let them take care of their teams. And so what I do at the beginning of every month, I have a brain box with my frontline directors. That means I sponsored them. And what I do is I make sure that they know who to focus on. I make sure I get their goals. I just make sure I really, really, really feed into them. So just like when I talk to my frontline lead consultants and star consultants and superstar consultants at the beginning of the month, that's what I've been doing all week this week, is I talk to them and I get their goals, and I make them pull their performance tab, which is a huge resource you guys should use. And I make them look at who their superstars are. I make sure that they're accountable. Are you having meetings this month? What are you doing to get your team together? If they're a superstar consultant, I want them to go ahead and make sure they have a team page ready to go. So when they become a director and they get pulled off of my page, they already have this awesome community created. I make sure that they are themselves sponsoring. They're having parties, all of those things, because once we become directors, I think sometimes people forget that we need to be fed into also. A lot of times we spend our day feeding into other people, and it's so important for us to get fed into as leaders. And so I make sure that I really focus on that, and I don't get sidetracked. So I go from the top to the bottom. So as your businesses grow and you have people promote, the first people you guys need to focus on are your superstar front lines, period. The people you've sponsored, the ones that are rocking their business, they hit shooting star, they certified really quickly, their lead consultants are above. That's who you focus on first, and get them on the phone to get their goals with them. And then what I do after that is I just let them feed into their leaders. And so, if you guys get in a system of that right now, while you guys are, trying to promote to director, some of y'all may already be a director now, and you're really trying to find other directors, right? Really focusing and remembering, if people are 2, 3, 4, 5 down from you, I don't necessarily treat them like my front line, because they're not my front line. I want those people to take care of them. But if I ask them, hey, who's your sponsor? And they're like, oh, well, so-and-so. And I ask them, okay, well, have you asked them these questions? If they come back and they're like, yeah, I have, I can't really get a response. Of course, you guys are going to help them. We're going to help them. But we want that leader to establish a leadership role. I had this happen yesterday with a frontline superstar consultant. I really had to hold her accountable. And at first, she wasn't very happy about it. She may even be on this feed right now. But after I held her accountable, I was like, look, I believe in you. I know that you're an awesome leader. I don't want to reach down and talk to your 30 frontline or your 30 team members. I want you to take care of them. And then she's like, you know what? I need to get it together. So really, show your leaders that they can be leaders, and that they can handle their teams, and that you're going to be there for them if they need you, but holding them accountable as leaders and showing them, look, this is what you need to focus on. Don't focus on making samples for a whole week. Focus on your frontline superstars. That's where the money is. So that is all I have. Maggie, I'm going to pass it to you.
Okay. I'm up. Okay, so my question was from Nicole, and she said, as I become busy with my business, how do I keep myself from forgetting to spend time with my family? And I kind of touched on this a little bit last week when I talked about making sure that you're serving yourself and kind of looking at what your priorities are. So for me, last year I missed several of my kids' games, and like I didn't want to do that this year. I really wanted to be present for my kids. I stay home with my children for a reason, and I didn't want to have to miss those things. So what I did at the beginning of the year, whether the school year, sports, whatever, is that I sat down and I wrote down every single thing that they had. I wrote down all the class parties. I wrote down all of the games, all of their practices, and I will have to miss just because of life, whether it's one of my Young Lives commitments or whatever. But that too, Young Lives is a big part of my life. It's a ministry that I work with, and I'm a leader with that group, and so I need to be at the meetings every other Thursday. So I know every other Thursday I write them down on my calendar. I can't have a party that day. I just can't. I can't manage both of them. I won't serve Young Lives well and my host well if I'm trying to balance doing a Facebook party on my phone and be at Young Lives and be present for the girls. And so I just kind of had to write down what my priorities were. I wanted to make sure I was at all my kids' games. I wanted to make sure that I was at all the Young Lives meetings and that I was present. And at the beginning of my business, I was and I'm still on my phone a lot. I'm just going to go ahead and admit that. I'm on my phone a lot. I do most of my business from my phone. And so a lot of times I do have my nose in my phone because I'm working. But I also want to make sure that I take time to, if my kids are on the playground, then I'm playing with them. Or, I can do orders and stuff like that from my phone when I'm sitting in carpool line waiting for them to get in the car, or during nap time. I've set aside, I have 3 mornings a week where I don't have any kids. And so I really focus on working during those mornings. And so that I can be more present for my kids when they are home, because that's important to me. Like I said, I stay home with them for a reason. So the time that I am home with them, I try to be very present. My husband works a lot of hours and he travels a lot. So a lot of times I get my work done after my kids go to bed, because either he's working on his computer and I can work on mine too, or if we're both home at the same time, sometimes we'll both put work away and we'll just sit and hang out on the couch together. So that's something that you have to do for yourself. You have to figure out what your priorities are, the times when you absolutely want to be present, and then don't make any exceptions for it. If you have a host that says they want to host on a specific day and you've got games, they'll either pick a different day or, you can move it later in the day, whatever. But I make, the things that I want to be present for my priority, and then I revolve my business around it. That's the nice thing about Scentsy. We want to work, how hard we want to work. We don't need our life to revolve around Scentsy. Scentsy can revolve around our life. And there are certain things in your life that you don't need to budge on. You just don't. You don't need to budge on date night with your husband. You don't need to budge on your kids' games. You don't need to budge on church. You don't need to budge on those things that are important and that, pour into you as a person, because it's easy to get wrapped up in your business. I've done it. I did it last year. I'll just be honest with the incentive trip. I wanted so badly to earn Disney for my kids. And, I spoke at Reunion on earning the incentive trip. And I sat in front of hundreds of people and told them that it was doable for everybody to do it. And then we got the qualifications and it was hard. Like, it was really hard. And so it was a pride thing for me. So I focused more on me and my team and on like my business personally than I did on my team last year. And that's not something that I should have done. And like I said, I missed a lot of games last year. I missed a lot of things with my family because I wanted to earn Disney for them. And it was amazing. It was one of the best trips we've ever taken. But I didn't want to do that this year. So at the beginning of the season, I sat down and I said, these things I'm not going to budge on. I'm not going to have a party at the same time as one of my kids' games. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to miss it. I'm not going to miss Young Lives. I'm not going to miss church on Sunday. So I'll have to do everything else after that. So honestly, that's the only way that I know how to say to balance family and business. And it's hard. It's something that I struggle with. It's not something that comes easy to me because I'm such a workaholic. I work my business constantly. My superstar director told me a long time ago to set business hours. And that's not something that I've done well, because I do have to work a lot when my kids are asleep. I don't close down my business at 5 p.m. A lot of times I'll have my business closed from like 9 to noon, and then I'll do some stuff during nap time, and then I'll not be able to look at it again until evening after my kids go to bed. So just see whatever it is that works around your family schedule. Look at your family time first and what things you need to get done for your family first, and then let Scentsy revolve around that, because that's why we do this business, is to be flexible, to make our own hours, to work, you know, as hard as we want to. So that's really the only advice that I have to give about that. But I mean, if you need scheduling help, one of us can totally help you. I will fully admit that I am not the greatest about scheduling. Chloe tries to kick my butt all the time to get my calendar in gear, and it's still a work in progress. But I've actually been using it this year, which is a change from the past, because usually it's all up here. When you have 3 kids in 3 different sports and have to run a business, and I have, you know, a team that lives with me that I have to take to and from work, and it's a lot. So just make sure that you're serving yourself and your family well, and then, you know, you'll have enough left over to be able to serve your team. I don't know who's up next. Kristen? We'll do that.
All right, everybody. So I am actually going to take Haley's questions. So one of them is how to teach our recruits to recruit. So one of my biggest things, I always say that you have to lead by example. It is so important to, like, I can't expect my team to recruit if I'm not actively recruiting myself. So I have to show them how to recruit and lead by example every single month. So I always have a goal every single month about how many people I want to recruit, and I tell them what my goals are. That way they can make their own goals about recruiting. The other thing too is that when I sponsor somebody, literally one of the first things that I tell them is that I ask what their goals are with the business. And I've talked to a lot of people about this lately, especially people who keep saying that they want to quit their jobs, they want to be able to stay home, they want to do all these things, they want to retire. And honestly, the best way to do that is to build a team. It's not going to be by PRV. If you just keep selling and selling and selling, and say you just do events you just do events with Scentsy, or you just do parties, that's all you do. You don't recruit, you don't build a team. You're never going to be able to retire. You're never going to be able to have that beach money lifestyle. You're never going to be able to be home with your kids more, because unless you build a team in this business, you're not going to get any further. You're not. So what I tell my people from day one now when I recruit them is I tell them that. I ask what their goals are, and then I find out exactly what they want from it. And if that's what they want, if they want to retire, if they want to be home with their kids more and whatnot, then I tell them how to do that. And they have to recruit. They have to build a team. And something Jen actually said last week, and I've been doing this also now with people, is when I recruit somebody, I tell them to find their best friend, whoever it is, and have them do it with them together, because it's a lot more fun to have somebody with you to do it. That way you guys can kind of go through the process of being new together and then stem from there. So I think that's such a good idea. So I've been doing that a lot lately. And it's just, like I said before, it's so important to lead by example. So number one, from the get-go, teach your team to recruit. That's going to be the first thing you need to be doing with your people. I think that's kind of it on that. And then definitely make sure you check out, I know I posted it on Chloe's page the other day. And then if Maggie, if you want it, and if Amber, y'all want it too, I put that document up about what to do when you recruit somebody, like how to train them. And it is so important. Like literally what I've been telling my people to do is to print it off and bring it when they go to train somebody and just check everything off as they go. It's super important to train your people right. Now, with that being said, we don't need to hand feed anybody. However, you have to teach them what they need to know to succeed. And you have to give them the tools that they need, okay? But after that, you let them go. It's their business. You're there as their mentor. You're there if they need you. But other than that, you need to make sure that they realize that this is their business and they need to roll with it. So that's that. Her other question was keeping track of business expenses. So she was talking about going to Hobby Lobby and wanting to like stock up on a bunch of business supplies and stuff for her team and stuff like that. So it is, now I think recognition is super important. I love giving prizes to people. However, we don't need to be giving stuff that's like, I see that little buddy, he's so sweet. We do not need to be giving stuff that's like super expensive away. That is insane. You don't need to do that. You can literally go to the dollar section at Target, buy 20 things if you need to, and spend $20. Please do not go buy a tablet. Don't buy anything crazy because it's not worth it. Some people's love languages are not prizes. So what if you're giving somebody all this stuff that's super expensive and that's not even their love language? It's not going to do any good. So make sure you're being well-rounded in the way that you're recognizing your people. Make sure you're recognizing them on your team page. If you want to send a little prize in the mail, that's totally fine, but you don't need to be buying a whole bunch of stuff. Trust me. Like right now, I'm about to move in a couple weeks and I have to pack up my office, and the stuff that I'm finding that I have bought for my team, I'm like, why did I buy all this crap? You don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to rack up on stuff, and do it month by month. Like think about like right now, okay, we're about to find out our commissions are going to run. We'll see who promoted from last month. And so that's when I go out and think to myself, okay, what am I going to send my people for this month? You don't need to buy stuff 6 months out. That's crazy. It's going to sit in your office. It's going to rot. There's no point. So every month, whoever promotes, if you want to send them a little prize, go ahead and do that. And I'm not the kind of person, I don't send the same kind of stuff to people every single time. Like I like to mix it up and do different things, and that's totally fine. So yes, if you're at Hobby Lobby and you see a couple little things, it's fine to get it, but don't feel like you have to spend a lot of money. Don't buy a whole bunch of stuff. It's not worth it. And also make sure that you're keeping track of stuff for your taxes. Keep your receipts, of course. Y'all are gonna really hate me right now, but look at this. This is so bad. I told Chloe about this the other day. I'm so embarrassed. This US Cellular bag is literally full of receipts from this year. I have not gone through them yet. I know I'm such a slacker. I literally have not had time. Oh yeah, Maggie, I see that. So but guess what? I kept everything, right? It's better than throwing it all away. So just make sure you're keeping everything, because at the end of the year, you're going to have to deal with your taxes. You're going to have to separate everything, which doesn't take that long. It's just, you got to sit down and actually do it, which nobody has time to do that right now. But so I think that's kind of it. Just keeping track of stuff. Don't spend too much money on stuff. It's not worth it. And make sure you're recognizing your team in a bunch of different ways, not just sending them prizes or not just reaching out on your page, but doing a bunch of different things, because you don't know what people's love languages are. All right, Amber, you're up, boo-boo.
What up, guys? Listen, I apologize in advance if it gets loud over here, because I got, yes, see, he's already acting cray-cray. I got Jordy up over here. He's chilling with me today, but I am going to answer Faith Bradshaw's question, and she said, can we talk about host coaching? I've had 3 Facebook parties completely flop, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Faith, after this, I would love to pick your brain just a little bit more, just to go into more depth, but I can talk about host coaching in general. Host coaching is very, 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 very critical, a critical component to Facebook parties. And it also coincides to what style of party that you're trying to do. So whether you're doing, you know, some people do parties where they leave it open for a week. Some people do the 1-hour virtual parties. And now, I don't know if you guys aren't in the Facebook online consultant guide group or whatever, I can post that link. It's a good group to gauge, and there's lots of instructions in there on how to do 1-hour parties or 30-minute parties. But regardless of what kind of party you do, the interaction with your hostesses are going to be critical in Jordy, don't touch mommy's mouse. Sorry, you guys. Host coaching is going to be critical in the success of your party, because you want them to be involved. And the main thing is talking with your hostess before you start the party to kind of get what kind of expectations and what they expect from their party. So, you know, obviously they're going to know about the hostess rewards. They're going to know, you know, what they can potentially get, but you want to have them get engaged. What I do is I have them, well, some people aren't comfortable with this, but I encourage my hostesses to go live in their event. I also do the same thing, because I want everybody to know who I am. You know, hi, my name is Amber Manley. I'm going to be your Scentsy consultant for the next hour, half hour, depending on what party I do. I always let the consultant choose what style of party they want to do, but I also let them know the success rates, of the mini parties. But I encourage them to go live in their events, because Facebook Live, you guys, is a huge new and upcoming thing that has been very successful for a lot of people, especially when you are trying to create an influence on Facebook. And so people can get that emotional connection from you when you go live. So I encourage them to get on there, thank their guests for coming, thank them for attending. And then I also have them do something where if they don't RSVP, if their people don't RSVP by a certain date, then they get removed for the party, because you want to make them feel like it's an exclusive event just for them, just for their eyes only. And also limit the amount of people that you're inviting to your Facebook party. A lot of people go ham and they'll sit and invite 3,524 friends, and it's like you have all of these like dead end invites out there, and nobody is going to pay attention to all that. So limit the amount of people that you're inviting. Be very clear on who you want to invite for that Facebook party. Make sure it's people that these people engage with. So when I'm creating the event for my hostess, I say, hey, look, let's limit this to 35 to 40 people, depending. And I say, make sure did you guys see that cat just jump over the gate? Sorry, distraction. Make sure that you know these people and you're actively involved with these people and they know, and then you ask them, let these people invite people who genuinely want to be in your party. Otherwise, you're going to have a whole bunch of people up in there that aren't really going to care, and they're going to be ticked off at you because you're spamming them and you're just adding them to an event and they don't know anything about it. So number one, make sure your hostess knows who they're inviting, and then that they've asked these people. Don't just create an event and start spamming and inviting 10,000 people, because your chances of a flopped party are going to be greater. And also have your hostess get involved. Make sure if she's not comfortable with going live, make sure that she's posting. Maybe have her get involved with games. Make sure that she knows the schedule of your party, whether you're doing a party that's a week out or if you're doing an hour event. Let him or her know beforehand how the party is going to work, and make sure that they show up. I can't tell you how many times I've had consultants be like, oh, my consultant never showed up, she wasn't even in the party, she's not responding. And people, most of these people don't know who you are. They know who the hostess is. And so you really want to make sure that your hostess becomes involved. So with you, Faith, I'm not sure what kind of party that you've done. I'm not sure if you've done a live party where you did the hour or the 30-minute. If you guys aren't friends with Kimberly Polito, she is a pretty awesome Sensei consultant, and she has mastered 30-minute Facebook parties. So get involved. And Maggie has even done an awesome training for my team and Kelly's team on what she does in preparation for a party, and just making sure that you are in communication with your host at all times throughout the duration of the party. That's going to be key. And limiting the amount of people that you're inviting, because if you are inviting 10,000 people and you're trying to ask, let's face it, we're all busy, and you're trying to ask your hostess to follow up with, Robin, Jane, and Susie, it's going to be unrealistic. So setting realistic expectations is also key. So I would actually love to chat with you a little more, Faith, and find out, what kind of party you're having. I know you said you were running into some other issues, but when it comes down to the parties, you guys, and this is just for anybody, cut and dry. Be in communication with your host, number one. Set the expectations before the party even starts. Decide what kind of party you want to do. The live parties have been proven. Jordy, what are you printing? I don't even know what he's printing, you guys. Oh my God. Decide what kind of party that they want to do, and, kind of set a schedule and say, hey, we're going to do an 1 hour party. We're going to limit it to this amount of people. If so-and-so doesn't RSVP, we're going to remove them from the group, because then that allows your host to get engaged with those people who haven't RSVP'd and say, hey, I saw that you were invited to my Sensei party. Just wanted to let you know that those who don't RSVP, I'm going to be removing you from the group. Didn't want you to miss out in case you were still interested. Not being that pushy salesperson, but being that share person and giving them that opportunity to be a part of that special exclusive event. Because if you have 3,000 people up in there, that is not an exclusive event. You're just trying to preach to the choir, and you ain't going to get no sales. I'm telling you right now, it won't work. And if it has worked for you, you just ended up getting the luck of the draw. And we really want you guys to be able to do things that are duplicatable and ultimately help you get some sales and new parties and new recruits. So Faith, girlfriend, first of all, kudos to you for booking 3 parties. That's awesome. And you know what? That's just practice, girl. You're going to get better at it, and things are going to be on the up and up. And it's just, you know, Facebook parties used to stink for me, you guys. I ain't going to lie, to kick it. My Facebook parties were not what I do. Is because I didn't know what I was doing. I was spamming people, and I wasn't hostess coaching. I wasn't contacting them. I was just kind of setting up the party and kind of just doing everything and didn't really care what the hostess did. And as soon as I flipped my thinking and started working with the hostess, I've had an even greater turnaround and getting them excited. Oh my God, girl, you have 4 orders in, you're only $20 away from your hostess rewards. If you get another $50, you're going to get even more. You know, getting them excited too, because all of that excitement and all that anticipation gets them excited about their party, and that's going to get them involved with their guests. So I rambled on for like 30 minutes now. I hope that was helpful. I know it's pretty vague. Facebook parties is kind of a beast of its own. But start there, girlfriend. And if you need help, holler at Player, because we are all, any one of us are more than happy to help you, girlfriend, and anybody else who needs help for that matter. So that's all I got for you little wax slingers. I hope you guys enjoyed our 5-week little leadership program. You guys are rock stars. And I will now turn it over to Chloe so she can close it out for you guys. Have a fabulous evening. Bye.
Okay, so we did have one question. So either of y'all, any of y'all who want to answer, I'm going to read it, okay? So it's from Dawn, and she said, I'm currently a lead working towards Star and Beyond. What are the most important things for me to focus on present and future-wise? Who wants to take it? Kristen? Okay. Unmute yourself.
Okay. Okay, if you're a lead and you want to get to Star, the best way to do that and to get to Superstar is to recruit. So you've got to recruit, you've got to train your people right, kind of like we just talked about, and you've got to get them, like if you recruited 2 people right now in the next 2 weeks and train them right, got there, and the other thing too, y'all, is that we have got to be so about them having a launch party. And if you are local, you need to go. So number 1, okay, and we don't do online launch parties. That doesn't happen. We don't need to be doing that. We don't need to be doing basket parties as a launch party. I had 2 people at my launch party. 2. That was it. But the fact of it was that I had to do it just so I could see how it was done. So I was ready. I was prepared. And we've got to number 1. So, okay, Dawn, this is what you got to do. You got to recruit 2 people, FYI, in the next 2 weeks. You've got to train those people right. You have to have them have their launch parties, hit shooting Star, and you could be Star or even Superstar by the end of this month. Like you've got to recruit. So that is super important. I think that would definitely help you out, especially if you're only a lead right now to get to Star and then to Superstar, is that you've got to recruit and to teach your people to recruit also and how important it is. Okay, Maggie, I feel like you have something good to say about this too, don't you?
Maybe. I don't know. I was going to say pretty much the same thing that you were. I mean, it just, honestly, it depends on, like, obviously the first thing that you have to have in order to get paid as a lead and to move up is your 500 PRV. Like, you have to. And so the biggest thing that I have learned along the way is to front load my month and to teach your people to front load their month. Like, it is so nice to wake up on like the 1st or, you know, by the 5th of the month to have my 500 PRV done. It's so nice because then I've got like 25 or 30 more days where I can, any other sales, it's awesome. It's bonus. I can have a couple other parties if I need or want to, but then I can focus on training my new recruits. I can focus on booking for the next month or for the next 6 weeks, because that is the only part that you have to do. You personally have to have that 500 PRV. You just do. You have to. Otherwise, you're not going to get paid on your peeps. And then if they have 6,000 group wholesale volume and you don't have your 500, it doesn't matter. So if you can front load your month, I always say if you're going to book parties, book them in the first 10 days of the month. That's probably even longer. I mean, I would book in the first weekend. I try to have my parties booked in the first weekend of the month, because if you have a home party, it's rare that I've had a home party that's been less than 500 PRV, because when you have people there smelling and touching and seeing everything, they're going to buy more. And then they'll text their friend, oh, hey, don't you like Scentsy too? I'm at a party right now. You want me to order you a 6-pack? It's free shipping. You know, like you get more orders when you do your home parties. And regardless of what kind of party you're doing, front load your month. Get your 500 out of the way. And then you can focus on training the new people that you're recruiting. You can focus on sending out those, 5 recruiting packets or 10 recruiting packets, whatever it is. But when you get your 500, then you've got the rest of the month to any other PRV is just a bonus. And then you can focus on helping your new people hit their shooting star. You can recruit a couple more people. You can book your parties for the first week of the next month. And so I find it so much easier and just like more peaceful for me because it sucks. I mean, I have a goal for myself every month. I got spoiled right out of the bat, and I like to have $2,000 in a month because I like that bonus. That's not what most people do, but that's just, for me, that's what I've gotten used to because I like that extra $100 a month on my paycheck. But so when I still have, a good chunk to go at the end of the month, I don't like to scramble. I hate that. I hate that feeling of, oh my gosh, I need this much more PRV, or, you know how it feels. Or even if you're at like 200 at the end of the month, and you need to get to 500. It sucks at the end of the month to be like, what am I going to do? I've asked everybody, which you haven't, but that feeling is not fun. And so if you can just get it out of the way in the beginning of the month, you're going to teach your people to do the same. You need to lead from the front. Like Kristen has said, you need to be recruiting. You need to be hitting your sales. You need to be hosting parties or, booking parties. And so if you can do that at the beginning, if you can front load your month, then the rest of the month is just going to be bonus for you. Hopefully that was helpful. Anybody else got anything? Chloe? Amber?
I'm trying to think. Y'all pretty much, I think y'all covered it all. As far as, let me see, like focusing, I mean, and you guys that are on this call, like, what do you want out of your business? Is this a business to you? Do you take it seriously? Are you dedicated? This is hard work. I spent 3.5 years promoting to superstar director with a full-time job, with a child, with a marriage, with all the stuff these girls are, that all 3 of them do. Babies, church, marriage. That's the hardest thing to me to do because I'm not good at that. And so it's like, what do you want? Do you know why you joined Cincy? Do you know what you want out of Cincy? This isn't a game. And I'm saying that because I want to be honest with you guys, promoting in leadership, like this is the real deal. Like you can make serious money with Cincy. It can truly bless your family, but this also isn't a recruiting game. This isn't like I'm going to recruit all the people and then I'm going to peace out and I'm just going to keep recruiting. Like you have to value those people, know what they want out of the business. Everybody's not going to want to recruit when they join. Is it your job to obviously share with them, like Kristen said, to bring a friend along? Of course, but if they don't want to do that, don't feel like you failed. You haven't failed if people on your team don't want to work. 10% of the people are going to do 90% of the work. And that's just the way that the world is. So it's your job. If you want to be a leader, make sure that you're ready for it. Not that it's scary, but it's hard. There's times that you're going to deal with difficult downline. You're going to deal with, people not agreeing with you. But something I always tell my leaders too, as you promote in the company, and you have team members question what you're doing, you have to be confident in your abilities to lead. You have to be confident in the decisions you make. But most importantly, like you need to know why you joined Cincy and you need to know what you want out of it, because that's going to drive you and make you wake up every morning and be like, you know what? I'm tired. I don't feel like training. I trained like 7 people today, literally, and leaders. So that's even harder than training a frontline because you're training leaders. And every time before I talked to him, I knew like, it's not about me. It's not about us, so also think that when you are trying to promote, it is not about you. You're going to get the blessing out of that because it's going to help you promote and everybody's going to grow together. But you want to know, like, what do they want out of the business? That's all I have. Amber, you got anything to shut it down? We don't have any more questions.
I think you guys have said it wonderfully. And it just goes to, no matter what rank you're at, we all start as essential consultants. And the main thing of it is once you get past certified consultant, you have got to build a team in order to to get to that next level, whatever that next level may be for you. So if you're a certified consultant, you're going for lead, you got to have at least one person. You know, if you're going from lead to star, you got to continue to build. Jordy, honey. And just like, you know, all the other people said, you have to do your part too. You can't just team build without getting in your 500, or you're not getting paid and you're not promoting. I've had that happen when I first started because I didn't know better. I didn't get in my 500, Jordy. I didn't get in my 500 PRV, and I missed one of my own personal promotions back in the day because I didn't realize that I had to have that in addition to recruiting. I had the recruiting part down. You're fine. But I didn't know that I had to have $500. So don't miss that. What is your deal, honey? Mommy's training. So don't miss that. Make sure you know where you're going. Like Chloe said, understand your why, understand where you want to go, understand what your next promotion level is, and don't try to focus on the long term. If you're a certified consultant or you're a lead consultant and you want to get to a superstar director, that's a fantastic long-term goal. But in the interim, focus on where you need to go to next, which is the star consultant. And get good at building a team. And like Kristen said, get good at training them from the get-go. And in which way, make sure that they understand. So that checklist that has been created, make sure you get that. That's a guide for you guys to be able to help your team members. And that will ultimately make your business duplicatable so that you can, build your leaders up as well. And so with that being said, you guys, just keep on keeping on. Like Chloe said, it's not always easy, you guys. It's definitely a struggle some days. Some of us have full-time jobs. Some of us stay at home with our kids all day. Like, it's only 3:30 here in Hawaii, so that's why the hubby's not home to watch him. But it's like, we all have these things to juggle in our lives. And, so focusing on those small-term goals for right now until you're ultimately ready to get to the bigger picture. So that's all I have, you guys. I'm super proud of you guys. I know this has been fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. I hope you guys got something out of it. And with that being said, I'll turn it back over to Chloe to shut her down.
We have one more question. Do
Okay.
y'all see it in the chat box? I tried to copy and paste. Do y'all see that? Okay. Who wants to take that? Because I feel like I don't need to take that. Maggie? Kristen?
Okay, so how do you address your sponsors? Like people who have sponsored other people, or people that you have personally sponsored?
I asked her to elaborate on it, but I think I don't know. She hasn't written back.
I mean, honestly, like, you can't take it personally. But I say all the time, this is not a sorority, it's a business. I mean, you can make some really awesome friendships through this business. Obviously we have, but like, if there's someone who doesn't want to participate in stuff that you're doing, that's their loss. That's not about you. You're doing your due diligence. You are giving them the information you need to give them. And if they don't want to do anything, they don't want to do anything. Like, I've had multiple people that have signed up and never done a dang thing. But that's not on me. It's their business. You don't have time to run your business and other people's business at the same time. And it is not worth your time is more valuable than to spend it on people that don't want it and aren't going to work for it. You need to give value to people that are giving, that are giving it their best effort. And so if they're not participating and, they're not commenting on the page, or they're not coming to team meetings, like, there's not a whole lot you can do, and your effort is better spent finding people who do want it.
Yeah, that's what she meant, Maggie. She said, I pour a lot into my team. I try to plan sample parties, meetings, etc. with her leaders, in quote.
That's awesome.
And team meetings, and I have a couple on my team that participate 0%. They always have an excuse, or they just don't show, but they want full credit, even though I'm pouring myself into their downline. There's the problem, Felicia. I didn't read the end of it. They know that you're going to do it. So they know you've got to hold them. It goes back to holding them accountable. Have you asked them, look, do you not want to have a team? Because they're your responsibility. It's not my responsibility to train your team. It's not my responsibility. You're the one who sponsored them. So tell me what's going on. What do you want out of the business? I literally just had this same conversation with someone yesterday. And so, you know, holding them accountable, because it is not your job to pour into their entire downline. It is their job. Now, if they're going to continue to not do anything, I mean, I'm not going to just leave someone out to dry, like Maggie said, if they're working hard. And if I see that they are working their business and, you know, they are hungry and they really want more. There's a huge difference in someone just leeching on like a leech and someone actually working. And so you've got to make sure, though, that you are being, you know, you are really standing firm in what their job is as a leader, is what I would say. I'm going to mute myself.
Well, and they're going to get passed up at some point too. Like if you look at the compensation plan, you can't be a star consultant and have a star consultant under you and get paid on them. So they're going to get passed up. And though, you know, when that person drops off, their downline is going to become your front line. So if they have a front line, like we have this exact thing on, not on my team, but in like, well, it's in my group, not on my team. Callahan, don't touch that, please. But there, you know, there's a sponsor that doesn't want to do anything, and they have the group wholesale volume to be able to like literally triple promote if they would just put in their 500, but they don't want to do it. Or they want to do it the 1 month where they could get, you know, they can get paid on them, but it just doesn't work that way. And they're going to get passed up at some point, but if they have someone underneath them that is working and is worth you giving your time to, then absolutely, you know, it's hard because technically until you get to be a director, you don't have any kind of like, I don't want to say you don't have any responsibility to your team, but directors have a different kind of responsibility to their team than people that are not to that leadership level yet. And so, but like I said, you can't make someone want something. They might have just gotten lucky. I don't really believe in luck necessarily, but they might have just gotten, you know, a rock star that they were able to recruit somehow. But they're going to get passed up at some point. And so, like Chloe said, you don't ever want to leave someone high, you know, high and dry, because that person will see that you want it, and they'll bypass their sponsor and they'll come to you when they have questions or when they need something. And so you'll form a different relationship with them. But if you have people that don't want to do anything, like you can't make them. You just can't. Like you can't want it for people. You can't make excuses and money at the same time. So if they don't want to make the money, then they're going to keep making excuses. But like you can't lose sleep over the people that don't want it the way that you do. Because if we could make everybody want it the way that we do, like, dang. But they don't. And so you've got to find the people that are like you, that want it the same way that you do. And, you know, just serve those that really want and deserve your time and attention. That's what I would say.
Anybody else have anything? Is there anything that y'all want to say, the leaders on this Q&A, like anything that you think is super valuable for them to know as a leader, like the biggest tip that you guys have, you know, can give them, I guess? Does that make sense?
I think I'll just add real quick, you know, adversity is going to come in your business. You need to be ready for it. You need to be prepared for it. You need to expect it. It's going to happen. It happens to all of us. Comes in different forms, comes at different times. It is what it is. It's life, right? And the biggest thing that I want to say, the easiest thing in the world, you guys, is to give up. We've all had those thoughts in our minds that have crossed our minds, like, this is too much. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I'm tired. I don't, blah, 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 whatever, all these negative things that can come creeping in. But if there's one thing that I can tell you guys, no matter what happens, even if you have to take a break is fine, but the only time you fail is if you quit, okay? So don't quit. Don't be a quitter. Keep on pushing. And if you need help, don't be afraid to reach out to other people. You know, like these other ladies on here, in addition to Kelly and Jen, you know, we're a tribe. We've got each other's backs. Find your tribe, right? And feel free to reach out to any single one of us. If you're struggling, or if you're having trouble, or you just need somebody to talk to, that's what we're here for. We're a sisterhood. We're a family, and we're here to help raise up with each other. We're here to help lift each other up, not bring each other down. So whatever you've got going on, you know, like I said, sometimes you need to take a break. Sometimes you need to step back, but don't give up. Don't quit. You know, like Chloe said, find why you spent that $99 or $49, whatever you paid to join. Find your why, what drives you, what motivates you, where do you want to go, and just keep on one day at a time. Take it one day at a time. So that would be my biggest recommendation for you. And never stop learning. You know, it's always going to be a learning experience. You're never going to know everything at all times. Just keep growing and keep building and learning as you go along. So that's all I have. Bye.
Are we done? I'm so sad. Okay, I guess we're done. Okay. What'd I do?
Kristen wants to say something. She can't figure out how
Oh,
to
good.
do it.
I was wondering where she was. I was about to
Okay. No, I'm here. I'm like half asleep. So real quick, what I wanted to say. So I went live on my team page earlier and was super real with them. And I feel like a couple things we can learn from the situation. Number one, your team is going to learn the best from you when you're real. You need to show them your true colors, which means you need to show them your strengths. You need to show them your weaknesses. You need to show them your trials, your tribulations, all of that. That way they can learn. I feel like a lot of people look at us as leaders and think that we are untouchable. They think that everything is perfect in our lives, in our businesses. And it is so far from the truth that it's not even funny. So what I was going to say, I was telling this to Chloe like 2 days ago. I legit have no parties for October. I have been a bad girl. I went super hard in September on recruits and my PRV that I didn't even think about October. September went by so fast and I was like, it's October. I have nothing. What am I going to do? And just like completely I have really, really, really bad anxiety. So when my life gets overwhelmed and when I feel like everything is caving in on me, instead of me tackling my problems, I literally will just ball up in a shell, lay in my bed and not do anything. That is how I am. Unfortunately, I will legit like turn my phone on silent. I won't even like talk to anybody. I will just get in my little zone. And I worked last night and today I was like, well, crap, I still have no PRV. I have 2 online parties that are crickets right now. Nobody's doing anything on there. So what am I going to do? And I had 2 choices. I could continue to stay the way I was and not do anything. Or I could get my ass off the couch and deal with the situation. So I got up. I decided to deal with it. And I made a bunch of samples, followed up with a bunch of people, did a bunch of crap, booked like 3 parties for this month, got a bunch of PRV already because I decided to get up and do something. Instead of sitting there saying, I can't book parties, I can't get PRV, I can't recruit, I can't do any of this because I have nothing, I'm overwhelmed on this, I decided to change my mindset and do something about it. People have got to stop saying, I can't in this business. The second you say you can't, you are frozen. You are paralyzed. You can't do that. You've got to get off your couch and just move. So the title of my video earlier was Just Do Something. And it's so true. We've just got to do something in our business every day that's income producing, no matter what that may be. Do something instead of sitting there feeling sorry for yourself that you have nothing going on. Because that's what I did the past 2 days. I felt sorry for myself. And we don't need to be like that. We've got to move. We've got to do something. So that's what I wanted to say. We got to get with the program, y'all.
You're
That's
not
it.
alone. I did that last month.
You did that last month?
Yep. Yep, totally
You
did
felt
that.
sorry you're Faust and curled up in a ball?
Yep. Fetal position, straight up. And it happens. It does. It happens. And I did the same thing. I was like, you know what? I just need to do something. So I knew I needed to do a booking blitz. And so I challenged my team to do a booking blitz and we did it together. I still need to get prizes out for that. Let me write that down. Let me do that tomorrow. See, this is how I operate. But you know what? I'll do it. But yeah, I mean, you have to do it. Like you literally have to like make yourself sit down in power hour or power 15 minutes or whatever. Like I was on my way to a football game and I was like, I don't have anything booked for next month, nothing. And so I sat for the 30 minutes they were warming up and I messaged my past hostesses and I put some posts on Facebook and I got some feedback and I booked some stuff. So you just have to do it. Like you just have to. You can't let it die.
So true. All right, guys. I think we're done, Zoe. We love y'all.
Callahan, can you say bye to our friends?
Bye, friends.
Oh, He's so sweet.
This is why he gets whatever he wants.
I would give him anything. Okay. All right, guys. So we have no idea if we will do this again. We don't know what the world is going to do. I am probably the biggest, most sporadic mover and shaker in the Vibe Tribe. So if it happens again, it'll probably be because I make everybody just do it, and then they'll love it whenever we do it. They'll love it when it happens. They'll just be mad before. It'll be okay. But I foresee something happening in the future. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but we had a lot of you guys. I mean, it's been incredible. I've loved watching the journey. Offices be transformed. Like, I couldn't even believe that some of y'all didn't have offices. Like, I can't imagine how it would work in not an office environment, like not having my stuff together. And so I know that little things like that are going to make a big deal in your business. And just remember, like, all of our Vibe Tribe team has said, you know, do a lot of small things really, really good and just work. And continue to surround yourself with people that are on the same journey as you. Kelly Ski, by the way, so her question wasn't answered. So hopefully Kelly Ski will go live also on Vibe Tribe. And then Jen will definitely go live on, not Vibe Tribe, I'm sorry, Wax Slingers. Jen will go live on the Wax Slingers whenever she's feeling better. She's really sick. So make sure y'all keep her in your prayers. And we love you guys. And I'm going to end this.